Good evening. Fires are burning across large parts of London tonight as more serious violence breaks out on the streets of the capital for the third night in a row.
London is ablaze again after all the troubles of the weekend. Groups of youths are clashing with police in several parts of the city tonight.
This is BBC News, the headlines at 2 o'clock. Police struggle to contain the violence after a third night of riots.
I'm glad we could run an interview with Salman Rushdie, the writer, after the Phil Donahue discussion. That's because Rushdie was targeted for death by Muslim extremists after his book, The Satanic Verses, was
Many people believe that the first black people to arrive in Britain were slaves or servants. However, if you look through British history, there's evidence of influential African and Caribbean people back through the centuries.
I'm going to read you a quote from a letter from Queen Elizabeth I in the year 1596. The letter was sent to Lord Mayor of London and to other mayors and sheriffs of different towns in England. It goes like this. Her Majesty, understanding that several blackamoors have lately been brought into this realm, of which kind of people there are already too many here, Her Majesty's pleasure, therefore, is that those kind of people should be expelled from the land, and for that purpose instruction is given to the bearer, Edward Baines, to take 10 of these blackamoors that were brought into this realm by Sir Thomas Baskerville on his last voyage and transport them out of the realm. So what does this tell you about blackamoors and their presence in England at this time?
One of the earliest recorded images of an African in Britain is a black trumpeter depicted on the Westminster tournament roll of 1511. This musician was probably from North Africa and was employed by both Henry VII and Henry VIII.
In 1601, Elizabeth I issued a proclamation in which she declared herself highly discontented to understand the great numbers of Negars and blackamoors which are crept into this realm, who are fostered and relieved, or fed, here to the great annoyance of our own liege people, that want the food which those people are consuming, as also for that the most of them are infidels, having no understanding of Christ or his gospel.
By the late 16th century, trade had opened up between West Africa and Britain, and Africans began to settle in Britain, becoming part of the population, especially in seafaring places like Bristol, London, Liverpool and Glasgow. Black men and women made appearances in the diaries of Samuel Pepys and in 18th century portraits. Black sailors are recorded serving with Captain Cook on the Endeavour in 1768, and it's the seafaring Africans and Caribbeans who begin to feature in political and public arenas, often in the fight against slavery.
Alauda Equiano was a sailor. In the year 1789, he actually wrote a book about his experiences and then toured the country giving lectures on the evils of slavery.
Jamaican sailor William Davidson became a radical political leader in the wake of the Peterloo Massacre in Manchester in 1812. He was a member of the radical group caught trying to overthrow the government in what was known as the Cato Street Conspiracy.
Unfortunately for him, there was a police informant in the ranks. So for his troubles, in the year 1820, he was hung first, then had his head chopped off at Newgate Prison, now known as the Old Bailey.
What does it mean to be British? A black British? I mean, I think it kind of means you have kind of two identities. You're British and you're from where your ancestors were from. Like, I think if you're black, you're not just, you can't be English because you have ancestors that were in another part of the world.
For me, being black British means to be very much assimilated into this country's way of thinking and doing and being.
I feel like even though you're black and this is probably like not your roots, but you were born here, so you should also feel a part of the community.
Our families have been here, 40, 50 years, and they've helped to set up the economy as it is now. And they've helped to build, schools, education, healthcare.
Someone who they know nothing other than being in England, like it's different to say, oh, my parents are from somewhere, but if your parents have lived here and they've lived here, I think that's Black British, because you don't know any other culture, that's all you know, so I think that would be,
I think that it shouldn't be a Black History Month. We don't have White History Month. It needs to be implemented into the curriculum, if you like, of our understanding of the world in the same way that white history is. It doesn't matter, because history should be taught as a whole thing.
Yeah, it shouldn't be divided into subsections.
Because it's ridiculous, because it increases our understanding of human beings in the world.
I mean, Black people have been in this country for a long time. They fought in the wars, they helped build this country, so they should be represented a bit more and more positively, definitely.
B-Day was celebrated this year, and they did a plethora of programs about war heroes, and really interesting programs. They were on BBC One, BBC Two. And then they did a special program about the war efforts by Black soldiers. And it was on BBC 4, like it was on the alternative, when not the alternative.
You know, so many children don't know anything at all about their history, and it's really, really sad. We need more. I don't think it's a negative thing. We just need more of it.
I think it should be Black History all year round. I don't think it should just be once a year, but at the end of the day, anything that recognises the talents of Black people or promoting Black history is a great thing.